Jurassic Park 3. So Jurassic Park 3 came out in 2001 and it's got a $90 million budget. That's 30 more than the first Jurassic Park had, to put it in perspective. And Steven Spielberg has now left. He's realised that cashing in on sequels and not putting any effort into them isn't going to make people think he's a legendary director that he is. So he's like, oh, pull away from that. Don't want to be there anymore. So instead, as a director, we've got Johnston, and it stars Sam Neill, William H. Macy, and Taya Loney. I hope I said that right. So by the third movie, you're probably wondering, hang on, they've had two movies where everyone's been dying, and now they're going to go back and die some more? So I'm going to be fair. The way the second movie set this up, that piece of trash movie set it up by giving some kind of excuse like, oh, they were made on that island. And this movie is continuing on from that, obviously. But this movie follows on from Jurassic Park 2 better than Jurassic Park 2 followed on from the first film, if that makes sense. Not much better, but better nonetheless. Sam Neill, of course, the guy from the first film, the star from the first film, is back to get more money, I guess, which ties in. It must have been some kind of meta humour, because his character in this movie goes back to the island to make money. He literally says, the forces of heaven and hell will not get me back to that island. And they give him some dollar, and he goes back. Okay, so now thinking about it, it might not be set up better than the first one, but human greed of money. So he gets recruited by William H. Macy's character for some dollar bills, y'all, and he is going back to the island with his party of people, and he is doing what Jeff Goldblum did in the second movie, which is with less of the ums and ahs, saying, no, we can't land here. We're just gonna fly over it, because if we land, death is bad. So they're like, no, it's fine. But then they land anyway, and they end up crashing. There's also apparently a new dinosaur on the island. It's like, oh, new dinosaurs, cool, because in the few previous movies, we'd only seen a T-Rex and raptors, really, and some, herbivores, herbivores, I guess. So they land on the island, they hear this roar, and the girl's like, oh, that sounds like there's a T-Rex, and the guy goes, no, it's something bigger. So then you're like, oh, yeah, something bigger, something cool, and the movie gets into it really quick, so you're like, oh, okay, cool, this is moving along a good pace. It's like, oh, this isn't bad, I guess. Bit schlocky, not that great, but it's moving along a pace, and I'm not bored, at least. It's not focusing too heavily on characters I don't care about. It's just moving along, getting things done, and now we have prospect of a new dinosaur, which, I anticipated. I thought it was well done. It was exciting that we could see something new. Admittedly, they should have taken Steven Spielberg's Jaws philosophy, the idea that you should wait a long time before you actually show the monster in order to build up that suspense. In this movie, you're like, oh yeah, can't wait to see that monster. But when you say you can't wait, secretly you kind of want to wait. And you don't really tell anyone, because you don't want people to know that. But you kind of want to wait. And then it appears 5 minutes later, and you're like, damn, I guess I could have waited for that. So this huge creature, this Spinosaurus, one of those things, comes and is now chasing them, and they're trying to get away, and they're trying to save a son, and Sam Neill's all upset because they landed, and it's all blah, 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 blah. Very similar to the second movie, but half an hour shorter, and more filled with events. There's a lot more action sequences in this film, and that's going to sound real shallow, because it's like, you just care about action sequences, why don't you like actual filmmaking? It's like, well, one, action sequences are actual filmmaking, but I mean like character development, but why do you care about that? Well, you have to appreciate a movie in its context. The first Jurassic Park movie could have very easily been a B-movie monster movie, which is a fantastic set of words to say, one after another apparently, but it could have easily been that, but it wasn't, and I have huge respect for that film for that. The second movie tried not to be, but ended up being, kind of, but not quite. It's sort of skirting the line a little bit, a little too close for my taste, but, it's kept its head above the water, I guess. And then this movie is completely embracing it. This is a B movie. Monsters are going around, they're biting, they're scratching, people are dying. To an extent, a few people die. Not that many. And stuff's happening for 90 minutes, which is an okay amount of time. You can sit there, bite-sized amount of entertainment. It kind of just passively happens to you. You kind of just sit there and it's like, okay, yeah. It carries no sense of grandeur, no sense of being more than it wants to be. It just sets out to do what it does, and it does it. That said, I didn't really want it to be a B-movie monster movie, again, saying that again. I wanted it to scope a little further than that, because, fairly generic, sort of movie to go for. So I was like, you know, don't get me wrong. I respect Joe Johnston for, you know, doing what he wanted to do and just not scoping any further than that. But at the same time, despite respecting it, I still kind of wanted it to go a little further than this. For example, I've already said the story is tenuous at best. He goes there for not realistic reasons, and because of that, it's all jumbled, and you don't really root for any of these characters. They're all pretty boring. William H. Macy looks like Ned Flanders, so that's pretty funny, I guess. And there's a love story going on in between, which is okay, I guess, but it doesn't really get explored that much. There's a kid, and he like survives on the island for 8 weeks, and it's like, how the hell did you do that? I mean, it's not a good film, is it? I mean, you have that terrible moment where he's asleep and then he wakes up and it's like, Alan. I mean, you've all seen that moment, you surely have. It's like meme status. It's like, ugh, why did that happen? I understand what he was trying to do, and at first I thought, oh, that wasn't so bad. It was really quick. It wasn't focused on a lot, and it's like, well, yeah, that's the problem. It was really quick and it wasn't focused on a lot. What Joe Johnston was trying to do was he was trying to say Sam Neill is tortured with this idea of going back to this island. He's scared of these dinosaurs. They haunt his memories. And so when he's asleep, that's all he thinks about, and he's scared of them, and he's right over the island. That should have been done way better than just a raptor going, Alan. It's like, is that the best you could think of to portray his feeling of terror, his horror at going back to this island, and his guilt for taking the check over his own safety? It's like, is that all you could think to do with it? There's so much more to be done there, and it's a missed opportunity, but again, the film doesn't do any more than that. It stays firmly within its set of things that it wants to do, and in that, again, can respect it, but I would have appreciated a lot more. That said, the fact that it's 90 minutes long definitely helps it. Another half hour on this one, like the second film, I would have been completely checked out. Like, I can't handle 2 hours of this crap, but 90 minutes? Yeah, I can half get behind that, you know. Can appreciate it for what it is, but let's be honest, it's not good. So I give Jurassic Park 3 a 5 out of 10, you know. The CGI is still good. It works fairly well for the most part. They use it a lot more in this film. And a few shots are a little bit like, you could have used animatronics there, but for the most part, the CGI is still fine. So it's average. It's not bad. It's half. It's okay. It's just kind of like a movie you watch and it happens to you, and you let it fade away after about a day. So guys, that was my review of Jurassic Park 3. If you enjoyed this review, please like and favourite in the boxes below. You know what to click. And please, please, please subscribe. Helps me more than you know, and there's going to be so many more of these reviews coming. Tomorrow is a review of Jurassic World, which I'm finally getting a chance to see. Thank God. Let's see if it improves on this, and let's see if we can have a little bit more fun with some better CGI. But anyway, see you then. Goodbye.